I want to make a video for Christian women today about Second Exodus because I know I never learned about this when I went to Sunday church, and I don't ever remember reading it for myself in the Bible. So I just want to share what I learned. I'm going to start with Luke chapter 21, and they're asking Yeshua the Messiah, um, when these things are going to come to pass, what sign is there going to be that we're in the end times? And he said, take heed that ye not be deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ. So this is your Baptist Jesus, your Catholic Jesus, your Lutheran Jesus. So here's your sign that we're in the end times. I also encourage you to go read Ephesians chapter 5, verses 6 through 14, as well as Matthew chapter 24, verse 4. Okay, the next chapter I'm hopping to is Ezekiel 36. Um, the church is Israel. It's um, Israel's identity was lost when they were scattered into the Gentiles for idolatry, and you can gain a better understanding about what happened in Second Kings 17. They were worshiping an Asheroth pole, which is a modern day Christmas tree. It says, and I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries according to their way and according to their doings. I judged them. So they were scattered for their idolatry. If you jump down to 24, it says, I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries, and I will bring you into your own land. So he's letting us know that he's going to come for us again. Um, and then John 7:35. The Jewish people, which is the southern kingdom, they knew that the northern kingdom had been scattered and dispersed. And it even proves it here. It says they said amongst themselves, whether he shall go. Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? Okay, so in order to get grafted back in, you have to keep Yah's holy covenants of promise, and that explains it here in Ephesians 12. And we get grafted in by keeping the covenants of promise. And I also encourage you to go read Romans 11. Okay, I'm going to hop over to Ezekiel 34. So, Yeshua tells us they're evil shepherds. Satan sowed in the tares. And these evil shepherds are teaching people um, to practice pagan witchcraft, such as Christmas and Easter, and breaking the Ten Commandments. And they're teaching once saved, always saved doctrine. And there's also evil shepherds that are Torah followers, and they push Paleo Hebrew. They're chasing after the calendars. They wear tzitzits. They do not fulfill the royal law, but instead they smite those that do. Instead, they give out smooth, ear-tickling words and would rather try and make friends than rebuke them and give them the type of love that Yah commanded us to give. And all of these wicked shepherds are scattering Jehovah's people. He asked, the diseases they have not healed. So have you healed the diseased, the broken, and the blind, and cast out demons? Well, it's the keeping of Jehovah's Ten Commandments. So you can jump with me to Jeremiah 23. Because of all of these wicked servants and stuff, Jehovah appoints his own shepherds, And you'll recognize these shepherds because they keep the holy covenants of promise, Ten Commandments, and they teach others to do so. They hold the key of David, and they have no guile on their lips, and they have the spirit of prophecy, and they will be fulfilling the royal law, and they are giving the daily sacrifice of lips. So if you jump with me to Jeremiah 23, I'm going to go down to verse 7. But in here, we're giving another stark warning about wicked pastors teaching people to break Jehovah's holy covenants of promise. You know, the once saved, always saved doctrine, Christmas and Easter idolatry. And he's telling us he's going to come gather his flock again. So, starting at verse 7, therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. So that was your first Exodus, and pretty much everyone's familiar with that one. But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, from all of the countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. So that's your second Exodus reference. Right, I'm going to hop over to Isaiah 11:16. And in here it mentions that he sets his hand a second time. So that's another reference for the second Exodus. And he gathered first from the four corners, and there shall be a highway. So when you see the highway, that kind of gives you an indication that that's the second Exodus. Okay, I'm going to hop over to Isaiah 43, verses 5 and 6. And this is yet another reference for the second Exodus. He tells you that he's going to bring the seed from the east, from the west, from the north and south. He's gathering his people from the four corners. And then Isaiah 49, 11, 12, it basically says the same thing. It tells you his highways will be exalted, and they're going to come from far, from the north, the east, from all four corners. Okay, Jeremiah 3. Again, this is another second Exodus reference. He will bring again the captivity of my people, Israel and Judah. So he's gathering his people to himself. All right, now I'm going to hop to Jeremiah 31. I suggest you read this entire chapter. But it says right here, he's going to be he's Jehovah, and he's going to bring his people to himself. He so every time you see a wilderness reference, that's the second Exodus because the woman goes in the wilderness, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. So it says, behold, I will bring them for the north country and gather them from the coast of the earth. So here's your second Exodus reference. I'm going to hop down to so he's telling you that he's going to write his holy covenants of promise on our hearts. He's going to be our God, and they shall be my people. Okay. All right, Ezekiel 11, chapter 11, verses 16 through 20. So this expounds on that, again, the northern kingdom was scattered into the heathen, and he's coming to gather us again. and he's going to purge the idolatry from us and convict us to keep the holy covenants of promise. Okay, now I'm going to jump to Ezekiel 20. Okay, so he's talking about bringing the people into the wilderness, and this is another second Exodus reference. It's going to be the 144,000 that will be leading the people through this second Exodus. And keep this in mind that this is happening during the Great Tribulation. So make sure you're self-examining and pray to Jehovah that he reveals any sin that you may have, or you will get purged during the second Exodus. Okay, I'm going to hop to Ezekiel 36, 19 through 24. So this is another reference that he's scattered us among the heathen. We were dispersed. Oh, wait a minute. Where do you have that? Sorry. Okay. The last chapter I'm going to go over is Revelation. And it says, and his tail drew a third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to earth, and the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up to God and his throne. So the woman is the church, the man-child is the 144,000, and the dragon is Satan get cast down. He actually gets cast down onto Ephraim, which is the United States. This kicks off the beginning of the second Exodus and the beginning of the 3.5 years of Great Tribulation. When you look where it says times, and half a times, that's 3.5. And so if you haven't caught on by now, there's no rapture for Christians. There's just simply a second Exodus and the 144 getting caught up. So I hope this is helpful to someone.